minutes moving down past the 8 o'clock hour. Just wanted to make an announcement that the previous program continues on the Facebook page of Q95. So if you would like to continue following that program, please go ahead and tune in via the Wise Q95 Facebook page.
On Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. in the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of all people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
It is a beautiful Monday night here in the Nature Isle. Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the In the Spotlight radio show. We were out for about 3 Mondays. I believe 1 I was on vacation, 2 might have been holidays. I think so. But I always miss you guys when I'm off the program, and I know that you miss the program as well when we're not on. I know some of you have said, you know what, Fiona, even if it's a repeat you play, I listen. That's the real hardcore fans. Thank you so much for the support. If you're joining us live via the In the Spotlight Facebook page, we are happy to have you. Tell a friend. Call someone, WhatsApp someone the link if you have it. Tell them go to the In the Spotlight radio show page. Follow us, like us, so that you can always be in the know with what's happening with the show. I like that, that rhymes. It is a pleasure to be here after a break with the In the Spotlight radio show. And again, we thank each and every one of you for joining us on the program tonight. Tonight, we're actually having the Dominican Nurses Association as they are observing Nurses Week. Is it this week that's Nurses Week, or it was last week? It's mixed. It's mixed. Okay, so we will talk to them in just a while. A few things. Again, please remember to follow the In the Spotlight radio show page. Become a fan of our group. Search for the ITS radio show page, and you can become a fan of our group. We always do a little something different when we're there. And we want you as well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Fiona F. Frampton, so please subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it. We thank you for your support, those of you who support us in whatever small way that you can. And I have to say that you guys are awesome. This show has some fans that are absolutely awesome. So a friend and fan of the show decided that she was going to personally purchase some mugs that we could use, to get persons to make a donation to the show. we do things. If a guest needs taxi to come to the show, you know, we take care of that. If a guest is coming from the country and needs to stay overnight, probably, you know, at a guest house or something, and we kind of get some kind of barter, you know, we are able to take care of that. If we need to boost our posts on social media, we are able to take care of that because of people like that particular friend of the show. Now, she's not someone who does things, you know, to get a whole hoopla and all of that about it. She's very quiet about what she does, and she still prefers that I do not mention who she is. Yes, it's a she. And so I am very, very happy to say that I'm only left with 2 mugs in terms of orders. You know, it all depends on people, you know, keeping to their commitment and collecting and you know, delivering and so on. But as it is right now, we only have 2 mugs left. And these 2 mugs actually I'm holding them until I go through the 2 boxes and make sure that there's no cracks or anything, you know, in case I have to replace anyone with probably some kind of fault. So guys, I really love you. I really appreciate you, you know. You did not hesitate. By the time, you know, I asked about persons who may want to pre-order. We had about 2/3 of the mugs pre-ordered, and by the time they came, you know, people just supporting. And it's not that they need another mug in their cupboard or on their office desk. They just want to support. And I really, really, truly appreciate that. We're still working on some t-shirts as well. And hopefully when these get here, we hope that you'll be equally excited about it. But thank you again, everyone. Anybody who probably wanted one, and you know, you may just have to wait until I go through everything and see if, you know, you could get one of the 2 that's actually left. So thank you so much for that support. You know, this is not something that we make money from. I come here, you know, I bring myself, I bring my mind, I bring my spirit, I bring my body, and I do this show on a Monday night for nothing in return. And you know, it's your support that's helping me, not me. I don't need anything from it because I do it because I love it. And so you know, thank you guys for your support. You are truly, truly, truly appreciated. And before I get into my guests tonight, again, just acknowledging a few folks. Again, Q95, thank you as always for your support. Josephine Gabriel and Company provided us with Twapito water for tonight. Jordan Jerome, I can never, you know, say thank you to him enough for his support to me, and you know, we're now partnering. We're going to be doing some productions together. Some of the shows similar to what you saw of with Father Albert. We're going to do a couple of sit-downs, not big production, you know, just still me sitting down there talking to the person. But we're working on this, and I'm happy to announce that, you know, Jordan Jerome, aka GK, has agreed to partner with me to produce those. And, you know, we'll do a few of those, not too many. We'll just do a few of those and get those on social media only. Those will only be for social media. So if somebody wants to come on board and say, you know, Fiona, you know what, I want to support your online productions, you know, feel free to holler at me and let's see what we can do. Akim Low, you're a gem. Thank you as always. Dominican News Online, you know, once they get my flyer, they put it on their platform, and that's appreciated. And you, the friends, the fans, the supporters of the show, and of course my guests over the years, you know. By the way, how could I even be forgetting that? My goodness. The show is 9 years old. The 13th of May was the first show that we put up, and I met Mrs. Armour today at the spa. And you know, I said, Mrs. Armour, you know, the show is already 9 years. We'll be 10 years next year. I hope that we can do something with you for the 10th anniversary. So yes, today is the 9th, but on the 13th of May, a Monday in 2011, is my math good? No. 2013, so the 13th of May 2013, we started this In the Spotlight radio show. So guys, please wish us happy anniversary. I almost forgot that, how could I? I'm happy to have the nurses on then, you know, in terms of the anniversary. I have one more thing to do before we get into our guest tonight. So guys, many of you would have heard of the passing of Stephanie James. Yes, Stephanie James. And you know, I wanted tonight, Stephanie, after her surgery, sent me a message the following day stating to me, I knew she was going to have the surgery, that she had the surgery the night before. So imagine that. She's in ICU and she's sending me a message. And we continued communicating. I actually met Stephanie in February, late February. I was traveling to Miami. We were on the same flight. I think she was moving on to New York. And we spoke, and she said to me, Fiona, I know you probably don't recognize me because I've put on a little weight. I said, Stephanie, no, I recognize you, my darling. And we spoke, and she said, I hope we can probably get to sit together on the plane if it's not too full and so on. And we spoke. When we landed, she came to check on me, actually, while we were on the plane, and then she went off. She told me she was going to have surgery. And I wished her well. We went our separate ways. We spoke briefly after that. And then I wanted to share something that she shared with me. It may get you a bit emotional, but this is a message that the last voice note that Stephanie sent to me, and I did not hear from her after that, even when I said hello. So from there, I was starting to wonder what was going on, but I didn't realize then that, it was leading in the direction that it led to. So guys, I just want to share with you a message that Stephanie shared with me before she passed.
Upon me, I'm in a rehab. I have to learn to walk and do everything again. It was an emergency brain surgery. And you know how it is already. I tried my best, so God is with me, helping me to do so many things. And the people are taking good care of me. God is the one that working miraculously. And the nurses, the orderlies, everyone is taking good care of me. And I have some visitors that come in all the way from Jersey to see me. And other places. My son came down from Florida, he's helping me. And he'll be going back on Monday because he has to go to work. So from visiting time from 12 to 7, he will be here. And so I'm not far from my home. And that hospital in Montefiore, that's where I am. You heard of Montefiore, one of the best hospitals. So I'm all right for the time I increase of God, and God is mighty. Continue praising God, continue living for God, girl. As the only person we can trust. Mighty Jesus, the mighty doctor, our healer. Yes, so trust God with good eyes. Continue trusting God with a clean heart and a clean hands. And just do your thing, and God is the one that made you wake up this morning. God is the one that put food and clothes on your table, on your back. And always remember to ask God to forgive you for anything. In your mind, you say, God forgive me, because we don't know what we're sinning on. Just say, God forgive me. And those I ask, those who don't have Jesus, they need to come closer to Jesus, because in a split second we are gone. Thank you, Jesus. You're a good woman, and continue being good. Continue being good, my girl. God bless you. I always love you, and just continue doing good, girl. Continue doing good. I love you. Take care. I'm here in New York, so just take it easy. Just continue to pray your chain. Continue to pray your chain. Just continue to pray. Let's just say a little prayer. A little prayer can do so many things. Because my surgery was two tumors that was in my head. When they opened up one, another one was right there. And the doctor said if they take out, not to say they take it out, they are either dead or crippled for life. The medicine came and tell me that. The doctor who did the procedures on me, his name is Dr. Patrick Salana. You can look him up, Patrick Salana, white doctor, nice doctor. He came and tell me, whilst I was in the surgery, my son was calling him all the time. I said, Shem was calling me, tell me you have a good son. And while he talking to me, I see in a vision where Shem walking in an alley. And she had called the doctor. Is my mother alright? Is my mother alright? My son, God used my son, because when I went to the execution room, I call it an execution room, I said, Lord Jesus, cover me with the precious blood, and I take the whole Stephanie James project, all my others, dogs, cat, let's go with me. Pray for me. That was the request I did. Pray for me, Lord. Pray for me. And everybody prayed for me. Everybody prayed for me. Even the dog with the cat prayed for me. And nobody understood, but God understood. God understood what the dog was saying. And yes, anyway, what my God.
And that was the very, very last voice note of a couple that she sent to me immediately. Well, the day after her surgery, she sent one, and of course I kept in touch with her. And so, you know, you would have heard her say at the beginning, thanks for checking up on me. So I just checked up on her that day in question, and she sent me that voice note. I responded to her, and I never heard back from her again after that, even when I sent another message stating, you know, I'm just checking up on you and so on. And so Stephanie has left us. Stephanie was a great Dominican. She loved Dominica. She had a passion for the elderly. She cared deeply for the elderly. And anyone in need, anyone, you know, who was destitute, Stephanie was there. She would do whatever she could with whatever she had to help others. She's gone to the great beyond. She will sorely be missed by everyone I know she touched in one way or the other. And, you know, she did say to me, pray, you know, pray. And I think she said the same to all of us. And so, you know, I really wanted to just play this on the program tonight and to remember Stephanie. And I hope that we will all remember her for the very special person that she was, who loved Dominica, who loved people, and especially the elderly. So Stephanie, we love you, and we're going to miss you, and we hope that you'll be looking down on us from up there. So I just really wanted to share that this evening. We're going to come back right after this. Tonight we have with us a lady that I was quite surprised to see tonight, because she wasn't supposed to be here. It was supposed to be somebody else. But she's here, and I got so excited. You would swear that, you know, my mother came back from the grave, or my father came back from the grave, and I was just so excited. I knew one, this was supposed to be there, and another one, I was told that the other one wasn't able to make it, and that somebody else would be coming, but I didn't know it was her, and I'm so excited. Guys, I hope that you'll be happy to hear from this lovely lady as well. We're coming back in just a while. This is the In the Spotlight radio show. We thank you for joining us.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday nights from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining. A must listen to In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
8:26 is the time in the studios here at Q95. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. It is appreciated. Thank you for your support of the program. Thank you for choosing us this Monday nights. I should let you know that we're practically booked for the month of May and into June. I think there is probably the last Monday in June that we've not yet booked. But other than that, we're fully booked. And we all have individual guests coming in from next week. But tonight we are happy to have the persons who are responsible for aiding in ensuring that our nation, our citizens, our people are cared for, especially at the hospitals, the health centers, and in whatever other capacity that they operate, and it is the nurses. We have the representatives of the Dominican Nurses Association, and I must tell you that contact was made quite a few weeks ago to book their time on the program, and I was very happy to oblige because I know how important a role that these people play in the health sector and ensuring the health of a nation. Tonight we have with us, as they celebrate Nurses Week, I think International Nurses Day was celebrated sometime last week, or is it coming up?
It's 12.
It's coming up on the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why probably I'm mixing up your schedule, but you'll clarify everything that needs to be clarified. I'm going to start off with Nurse Fiona Glenville and allow her to say good evening. Welcome, Nurse Glenville.
Good evening, Fiona. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
All right, it's a pleasure to have you, Nurse Glenville. And Nurse Julie Frampton, who is no stranger to In the Spotlight. In fact, she was there probably the very first year of the program. We did a program on HIV/AIDS and stigma and all of that. And she was powerful then, and I know she's going to be the same tonight. We had Giselle Francis, who spoke about her dad. If we recall, it was repeated some time ago, who was one of the persons who was HIV positive in Dominic, and she shared that story. I mean, it was something else. And then we also had someone who was living with HIV and AIDS call into the program. It was a dynamic program. I have not had another one like that in terms of probably having someone come on the program. But Nurse Julie Frampton, it was really a pleasure, and I really meant that when I said that at the beginning of the program. When I came in there, I saw that you were the other guest joining us on the program tonight. It is a pleasure. Good evening.
Good evening, Fiona, and it's a pleasure to be here as well. And we'll not be talking HIV. And good evening to Dominic.
You've left that a long time ago.
Yes.
A long time ago. All right. So, introductions. So, Nurse Fiona Glenville, or I'll just call you Nurse Glenville. It's always just respectful that with nurses you always say Nurse Frampton, Nurse Glenville. So, tell us a bit about you and, your role as it relates to nursing.
Well, currently I'm a student. I'm a Doctor of Public Health student. But I've worked as a staff nurse I started off on Winston Ward actually. So I spent a few years on Winston Ward. I enjoyed it, and then I went on to Imre Ward. But I felt I needed to do more in terms of providing care at a public health standpoint. So I went to do the master's degree in public health. And from there, I was assigned to the Roseau Health Center. So I've been a district nurse for a few years. But my last place of work was at the Health Promotion Resource Center as a health educator. So I have a lot of hats. I am a nurse.
Wait. Okay, nurse, you just pull up my head there for a moment. Let's take that again. First of all, you look like a teenager.
God.
So that is the first thing, nurse. You look like a teenager. All right? But nurse, you just repeat for me again. Let's go again.
Yeah, I started off on Winston as a staff nurse.
You started off as a staff nurse.
Yes,
Okay.
I did a master's degree in public health.
So you have a master's degree in public health.
Mhm.
You have a degree in nursing.
Yes, and
Mhm.
I'm doing the Doctor of Public Health degree right now.
You're doing a doctor of
Correct.
public health degree right now.
Yeah.
All right, then let's stop. Let's have me
Still a
confused.
Yes, yes.
Still a nurse.
But tell me about the doctor of public health. What is that about? Just turn her mic for me a bit. Yes, so you can speak into it. Yes, because you have the mask. The mask is already causing a bit of yes. So please.
Okay, so the Doctor of Public Health degree is I'm doing at the University of the West Indies, Mona. It's a program to help develop public health leaders, and that is something that we actually do need because we need people who are able to plan and to execute programs that will help to develop healthcare for the entire nation as a public health standpoint. And I started off the degree because I felt that that was a need in Dominica, and I'm happy to have done it because it has helped me to grow so much as a nurse and as a professional. It's just a way of really expanding me, and I'm really happy that I've done it. So it has helped me to become a leader, to be a public health leader, to be able to respond, particularly, for example, with the COVID outbreak. It was an excellent opportunity for me to be able to contribute. And so I am just ecstatic to have been a part of it.
I like you. but give us a little bit about your background. Let us get to know a bit more about you.
What is that?
Where are you from? What else are
I was born in Thibault. Yeah, so I was raised in Vegas actually.
Okay.
So I'm both from Thibault and Vegas. And right now I live in Roseau.
Okay.
I went to PSS, the Portsmouth Secondary School. So at one point the PM was my teacher, just for a short time. My mom still lives in Vegas with my dad and some of my siblings. I have 4 children. I live at one point
You
and
see,
I'm married.
teenager.
Yeah, I know. So that's a bit of me personally. I love what I do. I love people. I am very generous. I love to take care of people. So nursing for me is my passion. I really love it. And I met people. I cannot say that I've ever gotten upset at work. Even when I come upset, maybe I brought my own tiredness and issues to work. And the patients themselves would make me feel happier. At one point, I met a patient. So this is my story. I wanted to give up nursing because I was just fed up. I had done my master's degree and I felt that that was not what I was supposed to do. And I went into the office, didn't pray or anything because every day before clinic, we have a session where we pray. And nobody came when I said next. So I called up and I said, but what is happening? We're ready to start. He said, nurse, no, we haven't prayed as yet. And I was like, oh my God, with these people. Anyways, I prayed with them. And the first patient who came into my office, he said, nurse, you know, I love you. Nurse, you know, God sent me you here because of me. I didn't like to come to the health center, but just from meeting you, I am enjoying it and I'm coming back. To be honest, tears came to my eyes because that was the time. That was my point of giving up, and I am really happy about those times in nursing when I've met patients who have really touched my life. In the same way that we touch their lives, our patients also need to touch our lives and to really be able to speak to us and to encourage us because there are points when we are ready to give up, to be honest. there are points like that. So that is me.
You indicated that you love people. What else aided in your decision to become a nurse?
Oh, my decision to become a nurse was my mother. She said that I needed to do it. I actually wanted to be a doctor, medical doctor, when I was growing up. And she was the one who pushed me towards nursing. And when I started my nursing career, I didn't want to leave it. I did not want. I got the opportunity to go to do medicine and to continue, but I didn't want to because I felt that this was where I belonged. This was me. I found myself in nursing. So it was my mom.
It was your mom. Yes, and of course, as you said, you love people.
Yes.
As well. And you need to love people to be a nurse. My goodness. Nurse Glenville, it's really a pleasure. In fact, when you did the promo video, I sent a note to Nurse Roddy saying, oh my God, she's good. So I really did appreciate that. And just hearing you tonight, really warms my heart. And just getting to know, first of all, as I said to you, I thought you were really a teenager, somebody in your early 20s. I'm not going to ask you your age.
It's 20. That's my story and I'm staying.
And how is the family? How are the children? How is everything?
Oh, my children, they're very excited. They keep me young. That's as much as they can say. Yeah, they're very energetic.
Okay, all right.
But I love them.
You love them, of course. Nurse Julie Frampton. Thank you, Nurse Glenville. We'll come back to you in just a while. Nurse Julie Frampton, where do we begin?
Begin by saying, you see where nursing is going, it's evolving.
It's evolving.
You see what our nurses are doing.
Yes.
This is fantastic.
She's
this is
doing
awesome.
big things.
Exactly.
I mean, she's doing a doctorate in public
health. So this is I think why we're here tonight.
Yes.
To big up those who have been there before us, and to encourage the younger ones. They have the opportunity to do that, and move on and do. It's not everybody that will stay at bedside nursing, but we want to encourage them to do, like people like that, to do plan strategies, do policies, and guide where do we go as a country in terms of our public health, because more diseases will come.
Yes.
New and emerging diseases.
I mean, just look at what COVID did to us. COVID and is jetting what,
Exactly. So if we have the capacity in the country to plan and prepare, yes, there are some of us who have the skills, but we on the other side of the hill going down. So yes, I am very proud of Nurse Glenville and Nurse Fiona doing it as well, almost done. So we have a couple of nurses who have gotten the opportunity and they've taken it.
Excellent.
So, yes, it's amazing. So we want to encourage our younger nurses to do that. Don't stop. Once you have the capability, the intellectual capability to do it, go ahead and do it. It's a lot of hard work, but go ahead and do it.
Let's go back. I'm going to take you back a few years. Take us back to when you began in this field and why you decided to go that route.
Well, I joined the service as a nurse in January 1979.
Why? Why did you go that way?
I don't know. I had 3 sisters who were already nurses, so I figured I'd just do the same.
Okay.
But no, my sister died of cancer when I was 9, and I was always there caring, holding the leg, and so I guess that started my thinking of caring for somebody at a very young age, and I started in the program young too. So yeah, and as Glenville indicated, did I choose the correct profession? And then you realize, yes, I chose the correct profession. Once you like people, you like caring for people, and I always say use the golden rule: treat people how you would like to be treated. And then I think for me, nursing is the best profession ever. It makes you such a well-rounded person. It's not very narrow, you know, like, I don't know what I can compare it with, but I just know it makes you a well-rounded individual, and it has done that for me. And
take us back through the journey.
yes,
Give us
So-
a brief summary of your nursing journey.
right. So when I graduated as an RN in 1982-83, you know, primary healthcare was just coming on board, and they wanted nurses to man the districts to prepare for the primary care nurses we were training. And then Mr. McIntyre, then coordinator of medical services, we never said CMO in those days, it was called coordinator of medical services, called a few of us who had just written our final exams, and then they called 4 of us to the matron's office. So I said, what's the criteria for calling these 4 of us to matron's office? They said, people we recognize that can manage.
Oh.
So I said, okay, well that means I passed my exam, I've got
Yes.
1 to go. And then we did a crash course in midwifery, 12 weeks, Dr. Sorrento. It was, so every time people talk about primary healthcare, I sometimes say, hey, don't forget, I'm a pioneer, I'm one of them. So we did our crash course in midwifery, and we were sent, I was sent to the Carib territory, Sally Bear, 22 years old, you know, and then the Jenny Williams, Martha Drago, Amy Austria, Cassie Bruce, Good Hope, Pete Suffray, and we stayed there for 1 year and 6 months. Remember these days, they were numbering houses, getting ready, training people in primary healthcare, concepts, you know, all the 6 A's: accountability, availability, accessibility, you know, the A's of healthcare. And then I came back down, finished 1 year and 6 months in the Caribbean Reserve. I played cricket, I joined a Rounders team, everything.
So you had to move there. You
Yes, I had to live there.
Yes.
No telephone, no cell phones in
Eh, eh.
those days.
No.
So I've done national service for them.
That is national service.
Yes, and then came back down after 1.5 years. It was finished. The primary healthcare nurses were trained. They were to go back to there. So I came down and did midwifery now, the full course of the midwifery program. When I finished the midwifery program, went to work on
Just for the purpose of those who may not know,
Yeah.
what is midwifery?
to be able
Go
to
to the home.
do maternal and child health, do deliveries, care for the newborn after they. So that's an additional program outside, so it's a postgraduate of your RN program. So I did that, and then I went to work on the neonatal unit, which I enjoyed. I love the little ones that cannot talk to you. I was auntie to everybody. And then I went to do a short course in neonatal care in Jamaica, Mona Yui. Then I came back, got married, went to work on the district, and then there was this advertisement for nurses to go and do the nurse practitioner program in Jamaica. So Mrs. Astefan says, but Julie, I haven't heard from you, and I said, no, I haven't seen anything. Nothing came. So I said, I'll look it up. And then I applied the DUE entrance exam and went and became an FNP. Yeah.
Wow.
And so actually I was the first person from Dominica to do the FNP program in Jamaica. Everybody else had been trained in St. Vincent as a program.
Right.
And then when I came back, I worked at Roseau Health District, being active in Nurses Association, president, secretary, everything.
So you wasn't just a nurse.
No.
You were involved.
So I was secretary in the early 90s, then president of the association, a little radical sometimes, but I enjoyed it. We had a good team. I have the names of all the people who've contributed to the Nurses Association. And then I was offered to do medicine, and I said, thank you, but no thank you. I have my children already.
Oh.
Yes, the PS came and said.
You were getting a scholarship?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Said,
But by then you were married,
you
with children.
you don't want to leave the children.
Yeah.
I said, I have them already. I think I have to mold them.
Yeah.
And then I left in '99 for 4 years. family business. Paul was transferred to Antigua, came back, and then Mr. Fabian, may his soul rest in peace.
From Grand Bay?
Yes, said Julie, we need somebody like you to man that HIV program. I said, no, that's too much hard work. I can't do that. And he begged and begged. He said, you know, I sent your name to go to a meeting in Jamaica. I don't care, you going. I said, no, I'm not going. He said, yes, your name went. You know, I went to the meeting for that. And I said to them, I don't know why I'm here, but I think I'm coordinator designate. The whole meeting started laughing. And well, the rest is history. I coordinated the HIV program for 13 years.
Yes.
And in 2015, I kind of thought I'd had enough.
Okay.
But I did a course with the University of the West Indies in public health leadership. And then encouraged others to do it. And so a lot of the heads of departments did it. And I became a mentor on that same program for the university. So, and then I said, okay, I think I had enough of HIV. And then
Was it the area that challenged you the most?
It was like, you know, to work in that, it takes a lot of mental, to work in these areas. It's a lot, it's nice, but sometimes it tears at your heartstrings, So I said, boy, and it's a lot of hard work. Writing up the proposals, so people like Glenville will start doing that. Writing up the proposals to get the money. People think, you know, the money doesn't just come. We have to do a lot of work for the money to come. So preparing, going to these meetings, late night meetings, responding to Global Fund, midnight, you have a deadline, reports to prepare. It's a lot of hard work. I enjoyed it, Matthew. I enjoyed the outreach programs, meeting with people, the different communities. However, that was 13 years. I said, I can do something else. And then so I kind of took a step back from that. And then somebody called me and said, Julie may need help at the college, you know? So would you do that? I said, okay. Well, at Denny's, Edwards had already asked me before the hurricane struck. And then after that, I came back and I'm still there. So I'm trying to mold young minds now.
So you're now a lecturer at the Dominica State College.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. So we still have one who is continuing her education and one who is continuing to educate others. And this is excellent. I think the Dominican Nurses Association is very well represented here tonight. And I'm happy to have the both of you. And we, as I said at the beginning, that we really wanted to know a little bit more about the two people who are here tonight, representing nurses or nursing or the Nurses Association. And I think that sets a nice foundation for the continuation of our conversation here tonight. So we're going to talk again, it's Nurses Week this week, International Nurses Day is coming up, and Nurse Rodney, I think, is your president.
Yes.
So Nurse Rodney, as I said before, good evening to you, Nurse Rodney. Good evening to all your members, and good evening to all the nurses in Dominica. And let me just mention one of the polls that we did on our fans page was how many male nurses are there in Dominica currently, and then I put the option of 3, 8, and 10. And I think 8 is the correct answer, if I am not mistaken, as provided by Nurse Rodney. So, is it more? There's more? Are you doing calculations in your head? Nurse Rodney told me 8. So nurses, do your calculations out there and make sure we have the right number as 8. And another question that we did, another poll, I actually did 2 polls for you all, was what is the motto of the Dominican Nurses Association? Is it United We Serve, United We Work, or United We Stand?
United We Serve. United we serve.
And some people actually said all three. Oh, some said united we work, united we stand, and of course the majority said united we serve, which is your motto. So ladies, let us talk a bit about, first of all, the Dominican Nurses Association. Tell us a bit more about that association that we represent here tonight.
Okay, so yes, the Nurses Association first started in 1957. We'll be celebrating 65 years on the 22nd of August. So that's a big celebration for us. I think Rodney and the executive planning something big.
Nice.
For that. The first president was L.C. Dubik, I think. I had some notes, but Hurricane took some, so I couldn't call everybody I wanted to call. So I'm hoping people like Sister Jennifer Xavier and Jennifer Astefan, Ophelia Linton, and these people will call in as well to share with us.
As you just mentioned, Sister Ophelia Linton.
Yes.
I hope she's listening.
Yeah, because she gave me some of that information.
I want you all to convince Sister Linton
to come.
We have spoken about it. The Sister Linton was a little resistant. But I want you all, those of you listening tonight, please call her, bombard her phone and tell her she needs to come on in the spotlight. Back to you this round.
Yes. So I think L.C. Dubik from Portsmouth, that was the first president, and Mrs. Pringle, Elaine Pringle, was the secretary at that time. And then Sister Constance Baptiste was the longest serving treasurer, so from 1957, and we've had so many past presidents since then, including Ophelia Linton, Sister Jennifer Xavier, Jennifer Astefan when I came in 79, I think that's who was president, and then people like, I'm trying to miss Jacob, and Jean Jacob. We've had Rosalind Rabes, Dennis Edwards. I tried to make notes before I came.
Yes, it's
Miss
nice.
Frederick.
I think it's nice to mention some of the
names.
names.
I want to mention the names. And Fiona Frederick, Rosalind Rabes, and in the 90s, myself, I served as secretary one time and president. I also, some of us, I cannot remember who before me was on CNO, Caribbean Nurses Organization Conference, organization board. So I represented the OECS once on that board. And we had Dennis Edwards later as president, Julie Blaise, Rosie Felix, so and Angela Lawrence. I'm trying to remember. Julie was in 2012. So we and if I've forgotten anybody,
that will also happen as well.
Yes.
So
but we've had and this association has been vibrant. I don't know what has happened now. I think I have a few ideas of what has happened, why we're not as vibrant. We also we managed the canteen at the hospital at one time. Yes, it was called the Consi Canteen, I guess after Constance. And then we borrowed $10,000 from SPAT to start. Remember SPAT?
Yes, of course.
Small Projects Assistance.
See, my brother went there. My brother went and worked there.
Yeah, exactly.
And these people.
You started to feel too young. Yes, and we managed the hospital canteen. And we also had an insurance, I think that started under Jennifer. And we had the insurance. We had we used to have a lot of activities, plays, I mean, our activities were usually big, you know, because our 50th anniversary of nursing education. So all the educators are mentioned here. We had our Nurses Association 50th anniversary as well. And we also awarded a lot of our long-standing past presidents. Hurricane break my cup, but I took glue and I stuck
You
it.
stick it back.
They gave me a cup with my name, past President Julie. I couldn't, you know, I stuck it, took my time and stuck it back. You know, so we had a dynamic group of people, and we continued like that. So like on my executive, I remember people like Angie Desabe, Don Daru, my sister Eugenia Roy, Angela, Ophelia. Once we were negotiating with Miss Charles for increase of uniform allowance, you know, and Sister Zabe is kicking my foot under the table. I'm pretending I'm not hearing her, you know. So we used to, yes, and to remove that, they used to give us crackers and a tin of milk for night nourishment. We said we don't want that. Give us, if it's $20, give it to us.
Oh, you'll buy all you
and we'll buy what we want. So,
yes.
so Nurses Association has been there. It has been, what I can say, big. We did a lot. So I'd really like to see it get back to that level. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about what we think has changed. Yes.
So just to add that P.S. White was one of our past presidents.
Yes. Letitia, look it right, Letitia.
Yes.
Letitia White.
She was a past president.
Yes.
Okay.
In like 2000? In like about that time?
Well, my sister was the treasurer, Colleen, around 2000.
Right, Colleen Harris, right.
So it would have been around that time.
Yes. 2009 when we, yes, our 50th anniversary thereabout. So Lestrade White, Julie Blaise. Yes, so yeah. So we've had a few trailblazers, you know, for want of a better expression, who has put nursing on the map in Dominica. And we wanted to get back to that level. The support for the, because as I always say to the nurses, the association is not the executive. The association is all of us, and anywhere we can fit in. I am not, you know, I'm leaving it for the young people like Glenville, you know. So, but if they ask me and I can contribute, I will contribute, you know. So these are some other things in terms of Nurses Association.
It is 8:58, the time in the studios here at Q95. You're tuned into the In the Spotlight radio show. Tonight we're talking nursing, and we have with us Nurse Fiona Glenville and Nurse Julie Frampton in studios. We're going to take a quick break, allow them to have a sip of Twapito water, and then we're coming right back to talk some more about nursing, Nurses Week, some of the activities planned, some of the events, and just to dig a little bit more in terms of, as Nurse Julie Frampton said, what has changed over the years? What are some of the issues and challenges facing nursing? Are our nurses still being poached? You know, are they still trying to get our nurses? Are we that good? What about the nursing school? You know, and all of that. So we're coming back and we'll talk some more in just a while. Keep it locked.
Spotlight on Q95
We also had a building fund.
every Monday night from 8
Building
p.m.
fund.
You like that?
Featuring people from all walks of life.
We don't stop the live when we go.
Triumphs and tragedies.
I never
Hopes,
knew
aspirations.
if we
Untold
could actually pause, you know.
touching
Yeah.
and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM Radio every Monday nights from 8 p.m. in the Spotlight.
One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining. A must listen to in the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
Just again, reminding you to follow our In the Spotlight radio show page, become a fan of our group, not a WhatsApp group, it's the IT In the Spotlight radio show fans page and the In the Spotlight radio show page. Remember, we also have a YouTube channel. It's on Fiona F. Frampton. Please subscribe. And of course, if you choose to make a contribution to the show, you can do so via Cash App, Spotlighters. Thank you to those of you again who support our efforts in whatever small way. Especially those of you who did not need another mug on your desk or in your cupboard, but you support it all the same. It says a lot, and I thank you sincerely for your support. Thank you to Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, the Callaloo House and the Great Old House. Thank you for your support always to the In the Spotlight radio show. And you, the fans, listeners, viewers on our Facebook page, we're happy to have all of you. And we're back with Nurse Glenville and Nurse Frampton. A little bit more on the association, Nurse Frampton, before we continue?
Yes. What I would like us to recognize is that the association is a professional body. And it brings all of us together.
What's its role? What's the role of having a nurses association? What's the reason? What's the purpose?
Did you hear what our motto is? United we serve, right? So part of being united to serve is being together, yeah? So we can have a common goal. We have it already, so we want to serve, and we want to serve well, yeah? When you're a professional, being part of your professional organization is key. That makes you a professional as well. It's not like nursing has moved from what I call a discipline to a profession, because you have to have a particular skill set. You can't take somebody off the street and make them a nurse. There's no way. You can take somebody off the street and tell them go teach physics, but you can't take somebody off the street and tell them come and work on Alford Ward or Glover Ward for 1 to 8 or an 8 to 3 shift or 12-hour shift at night. There's no way you can do that. You have to have a specific skill set. So as part of a profession, what your organization does is to look at what is changing with the profession. Where can we go with the profession? Look, we moved in nursing from being an apprenticeship program to a collegiate program. So we have evolved. So, and that's another subject on its own. Look, we have 2 nursing schools in Dominica now, you know, so we can put out nurses. But being part of your nurses organization is key to help you to evolve to that person that you would really like to be in nursing. We attend conferences, we ensure that our nurses go to the conferences. Actually, I don't know how well it is now, but we used to elect somebody or 2 people to represent, and the association paid to go to CNO conference. And we used to have big contingents to going out to CNO conference, whether it's in Bahamas, whether it's in Belize, whether it's in Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua. And I mean, you learn. People present papers. You see what's going on out there. You're like, wow, we can do that too. You know, so being part of your professional organization is key to the development of the profession and yourself.
Yes, just to add also, it gives a sort of support for other nurses. So like a young nurse like me can get a mentor from being a part of the association. And also gives an opportunity for growth. Like Ms. Frampton was saying, you get the opportunity to attend conferences. These are things that we are not exposed to right here in Dominica. And through the association, you get exposure to those things. You get exposure to other things that you might not have been thinking about. Areas that you might not have been any knowledgeable about. So it is important to be a part of it, to support the initiatives that are being done, and to help grow the association. And that is one of the areas I think that we need to work a bit more. But there's still room for us to be able to contribute. And if we just play our part as a nursing association, we can do a lot more than we are doing right now. We can make nursing be back on the forefront, where you would look at a nurse and you say, yes, that's the leader in my community. That is somebody that I look up to. Right now, we don't pay too much attention to nurses anymore, but as an association, if we can be together and follow that motto that says united we serve, and that we serve with our pride and we serve together, then we can bring ourselves back up. We can be those leaders and the people at the front that others can look up for.
And one of the other things as well is getting to know the older nurses and the younger nurses. So the older nurses get to know the younger ones, and the younger ones get to know the older nurses. So when an older nurse, a retired nurse, shows up at a health center, and somebody says, oh, don't you know this is a retired nurse? For you not to say, and then you'd say, okay, yes, no, I'm sorry, I have to say it like that. Then you would have been taught, or maybe not taught, but you would have known that you need to offer your colleagues some professional courtesies. So if we know that, so can you imagine I go to Roosevelt Health Center and I'm sitting on the bench and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and nobody says, excuse me, Nurse Frampton, what you here for today? Offer a little bit of professional courtesies. I think DNA, Dominican Nurses Association, can help with that in terms of all of us getting to know each other, younger nurses. Because I could not be in a health center and a nurse is there and she's not going to get priority service. I'm sorry. Professional courtesies, I need to extend that to my colleague. That's the most we can do for each other.
Exactly.
That's the most we can do. So the DNA can help with that.
So that brings me to the question, what is your membership like?
What is the membership like?
I don't know if Ms. Rodney can help us like that, but most of the nurses do join the nursing association. And one of our challenges is that we have nurses who are overseas and they're still part of the association. So it may not be easy to just give you a figure right now.
I think more than 50% of the current active nurses.
Yes. And even our nurses who are retired continue to contribute to our association. So we have most of the nurses as part of the association. We have only a few who may not join, but
on a whole,
generally the nurses do.
They may not be active, but they are members. They are paid members.
For those who do not join or who are not members, do you have a sense of why they're choosing not to join the association?
So, you know, as usual,
heavy side.
Some people might say, okay, what DNA doing for me? You know, they never say, okay, what I can contribute to DNA. But there are some people, I mean, I like that. They don't want to be part of any organization. I don't know when you're young, but you know, most people, you know.
The fact is that it's optional, and people have their own choices. They have their own ways of making up their minds. For the young ones, I think we need to probably do a lot more outreach to really tell them more about the association. Let them see what the association is doing and how important it is to be a part of it. So maybe that might be some of the reasons why we have not gotten some of the young ones on board. But I think they are still coming on board because when we speak to them, they understand why they need to be a part of it. It's not just about paying the $10 a monthly. It's 15 now.
What's coming out of your side?
No, I just pay.
Yes, so you see, you're a good member.
Okay, I think I'm getting some information here. At present, 250 counts.
Right.
Inclusive, but I can't read the rest. I'll probably have to go onto the program on my phone. But it says at present, this Rodney send me the information on my WhatsApp. 250 counts.
Miss August is locked in, and she said it's over 250 members.
Right.
Okay, and it says inclusive of retirees. Is
yes.
I'm not sure what the other. Yes.
Retirees, and we do have overseas members also.
That's a good number.
Yes.
But that is, it's a good number in relation to the number of nurses.
Yes.
What is our count in terms of overall nurses in Dominica? How many nurses do we have?
80?
About 400?
We should have over 400.
We should have over 400 or close to 400, maybe. Okay, again, Nurse August, talk to us. Nurse August will tell us.
Nurse August will tell us.
All right. So, Nurse Frampton, when you were speaking, you said that, somebody, there may be a couple who may ask what the association is doing for me. What is the association tasked to do for the nurses? Negotiate on their behalf? What is it that you're tasked to do?
We're not a negotiating body. We're not a union.
You're not a union?
We're not a union. We're under the public service.
All right.
However.
So Mr. Later and his team represents the nurses.
So however, as I indicated earlier, there are certain things because we have power in numbers. We have power in numbers. We could negotiate. Remember, I said we negotiated for an increase in uniform allowance, which we got. 100% increase under Miss Charles, and the removal of the night nourishment and give us the $100 or whatever for a night when you work your night. So there are certain things that in those days we thought we had the power as an organization to negotiate for. And if we have numbers and we have active numbers, we can do that again. So there are certain things, for instance, if we have, you never know, any nurse involved in any issue, the association can assist. We also give, the association also gives small loans for nurses in need.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's available. So nurses can apply for, so if you're in a tight spot, let's put it like that, and you're a member of the association, a paid member of the association, then you can go to the executive and apply for a small loan to tie you over. So that is available as well. It's a sisterhood and a brotherhood mixed together, the fraternity. So there's a fraternity to be able to do things together. So if we have the numbers and we are strong, guess what? I had a picture of myself with a placard in 1979 as a student nurse. Because guess what? We had strong student nurses associations in those days, right? So you just evolved from your student nurses association to the nurses association. So we had student nurses associations, strong student nurses association. And then it was automatic that you became a member of the Dominican nurses after your graduation. After your final exams and you passed, you moved on. So we did a lot as student nurses, and then, but I guess with the advent of the collegiate, it kind of took away that bit. I don't know if I am saying something wrong, but for me, I think it took away from that student body
that existed before.
Yes. So it's like we were in the hospital all the time, and we were there with the older nurses. You know, so it was like a drive. They were pushing us, but then now students up at the college. So it's kind of a thing we try to get them
kind of you
to
separate
get
it.
back.
You
So we
separate.
started having a student nurses association.
Uh-huh.
Yes, getting them back into that kind of mood, so they can see the benefits of being part of their professional organization.
And that brings me back again to the question, Ms. Frampton. You said the association is not a union.
No.
So you're represented by a union. And I would presume that you say to that union, this is what we would want on behalf of the nurses.
But if we have strength, we should
become a union.
I think so.
You think you should become a union?
I think so. We have look at 250 people.
Yep.
So we can become a union.
So is that something on the table?
Well, that is something we've spoken about before.
Okay.
And I think that is something that we need to revisit.
Yes. So Nurse Frampton is saying that the Dominican Nurses Association should revisit previous discussions around forming or becoming a union. But again,
trust me, the executive doesn't know I'm saying that, right?
They don't know. That's Nurse Frampton saying that. Note I said that.
Yes, we have to.
Yes, but I know you mentioned that the association provides loans for, or is that correct?
Yes.
For nurses in need.
Yeah.
What are some of the other benefits of so if I'm part of something, Nurse Glenville, if I'm part of a union, if I'm part of an association, whatever it is that I'm a part of, yes, while I understand that it's not always all about what you can get, but I still want to know how I can benefit from being part of that. So to the nurse who is out there saying, me, I don't want those people, I'm not in their business, convince that nurse why she or he should become a part of your association.
Okay.
Ms. Glenville.
Like he said before, it's about support and being a part of a group that has a similar objectives or similar issues that are affecting you. You get the opportunity to be able to discuss those issues that are affecting you and to come up with solutions for them. Like Ms. Frampton was saying, if we are strong together, we can address those problems. Because a lot of times we just sit and we talk about things that are happening, but we don't come up with any solutions. We don't address them. And being a part of the association makes us stronger, that we are able to address those issues. So in addition to that, there are other areas that being a part of the association gives you opportunity for. For example, with our insurance program, as we know that we do not have insurance as part of nursing. So the association is what offers us the opportunity to get a group insurance where we are able to pay lower premiums. So that is a benefit of being a part of the association. And the other areas, for example, being able to have your own home to be able to build. We have the building fund, and Ms. Frampton was talking about. I don't know if it is still there.
The building fund.
The building
fund was for us to set up our own structure, association, or
so my bad.
kind of thing like that.
I am sorry. I misunderstood
was
that
just we needed to get our own office building, and we could have a conference room attached. So that building fund was set up for that in those days. It's still, I think it's still
there. So we still have other areas to be able to get a loan from the nursing association when you need it, but the problem is that we need to have more support from the members to be able to.
So in other words, you're saying they need to pay their fees?
No,
they're paying their fees?
They pay their fees, but
do you have money?
Yes.
It's not about the fees.
It's not
about the fees. It's about being part of. Like tonight, I would have wished we had maybe another younger person to older people, and we, you know, that kind of thing.
Well, unfortunately, we would not have been. I
No,
said
I
only
know.
two.
Yes, I know that. With COVID, you can't have too many
yes,
people.
yes.
But it would be nice that we have a nice town hall meeting, because nurses have a lot of issues, especially now. Understaffed and underpaid.
Let's talk about some of those issues in Nurse Frampton. What are some of the issues you think that's plaguing nurses right now?
I think the main thing is remuneration for the work done.
Remuneration.
Yes. No, for me. No,
Not for you.
Not for me. From what I'm seeing.
Okay.
You know, like now, you know, you're not part of the system but you're on the floor now. So I go there facing students, I see. And the public is more demanding.
That is
The
one of
public
the
is more demanding. Yes. So that is a key issue. The public is more demanding. We have to go to more school now. Yes, you have to be more qualified. Because to enter as a nurse now, the basic entry is a BSN, Bachelor's in Nursing.
And not cheaper.
And it's
not
exactly
cheap.
none of the degrees are cheap if you don't get a scholarship, you know. So we ask nurses to be well qualified, yet we haven't seen the change. So there's change in the education, but we haven't seen the change in and please, we have bills to pay too. We have to drive a car to come to work. We can't, you know. So don't say it's not about the money. Yes, we care. However, we have the same utilities, the same expenses like everybody else. So the salaries have not caught up with.
That's true.
Yes,
And you
no.
still have the student loan, don't forget.
Exactly. So the salaries have not caught up with what we're asking or we're demanding of the nurses, that they must be qualified to be on the floor. Yeah? So we have not seen that balance. So the equity is not there. So these are some of the things. And people might be muttering, people may be afraid to say. I may not be afraid to say, you know, understand? But some people will be afraid to say it. But
I guess that's why you're here. You're speaking on behalf of those who probably can't speak on their own behalf.
But it's the truth. How can you tell? And we have a lot of specialties now, you know. So it started in the past with OT nurses, FNPs, this. We have dialysis, we have, you know, people have to be trained to be on the floor for the particular specialty. What, you go to school, you go to Jamaica, you live your family, you make sacrifice, or you become a nurse manager, you know? What is in, so that's why. So when the younger folks say, what is in it for me? And they say, boy, I'm not staying in England, you know? You don't know how much they're paying in the US. You don't know how much Anguilla is paying. You don't know how much England is offering the midwives, you know? And they like, our nurses are well trained. So, we need to do something in terms of retention of our nurses, because there's shortage on the ward, you know, a lot of shortage, and the public is more demanding. So yes, they have to demand care. Who doesn't want quality care?
No, you have
They
to
have a
give me
right.
good care. I come to the
Of
hospital.
course.
It is your responsibility
They
to
have
give me good care.
Exactly, they have a right. However, sometimes we forget that the nurses are humans. We forget they're human. And I think that is a thing we have to have a big town hall meeting in Dublin to talk about. Yeah, that's true. There needs to be more discussion on that.
And when you say the nurses are human, what are you saying to me who comes to the hospital and I find the nurse buoy, or she côtoyée, or she seemed like she left home with an issue? No, I'm just saying that.
Yes.
You know, I'm not saying I have had that experience,
Yes.
but I'm saying, you know, we've heard people say they come to the hospital or they go wherever and the nurse is always serious, and you know, and you know, or they ignore them, and you're on the ward and you're calling the nurse and the nurse not answering you and not taking you on. You want to pee, you want your medic. It's a whole list of things.
Yes.
But at the same time, you know, I've had good experiences at the hospital. I've been a couple of times. And people might say, oh, but it's you for Diana Frampton. They'll make sure you're good because they don't want you to go and talk about them. Is that a fact, Ms. Frampton? They are good nurses. And I think the majority of nurses are good nurses. Let us talk about that.
Yes. One of the things, yes, I agree with you. There's sometimes the odd day you might meet that nurse who's not in a good mood. And that's why I say it's human. However, that is what our association should remind us, that we are professionals first. When you hit that door, you drop everything when you walk onto that ward. However, don't forget, when a person comes to the nursing school, right? Whichever one they choose to go to, they're an adult already. They're set in their ways already. They have all their attitudes already. They have their specific behaviors. To undo that in 3 years is not easy.
Then Ms. Frampton, somebody might argue then,
so
if you know this is not, you don't have the right posture for this.
Yes.
Don't come.
Yeah, but I
that,
to butt in here.
Yeah. Please, Ms. Glenn. I'm just sharing on behalf of, the things that I've heard.
I understand, but I've worked in the health center where I've seen that I've done nothing to anybody. And the reports I got back, I'm wondering, who were they talking about? When did that happen? People tell a lot of tales about the nurses, and I feel like we're just being stigmatized or labeled, maybe because of some past experience, or probably the same person who came home angry and they could not shake you how they wanted to. So I just feel I must put that in there. That is not always, everything that we hear about the nurses are not always the truth. I know we do have people like Ms. Frampton said, they come as adults, and emotional intelligence is not something that you can teach all the time. You can't teach a person how to behave or how to keep their temper in check. But the majority of nurses are not like that. And the majority gets labeled for a few, and we need to get out from that. Look at a lot of the work that nurses have done. Look at what good they've done, and that just keeps being brushed aside because a few people have loose tongues or they cannot control themselves. So I'm just saying, as nurses, we need to learn to behave as professionals all of the time, but we also need to let people be accountable for their actions. If it is Nurse Glenville who did it, you say Nurse Glenville did that, but do not say the nurses on Glenville ward or the nurses at Roseau Health Center. You say it's Nurse Glenville. Let Nurse Glenville be accountable for her actions and not just generalize. And we have been carrying that burden all of the time, that we are generalized.
A lot of times, Ms. Glenville, that sort of approach is targeted, especially at the A&E departments. That people come and people say things like they come, they've been sitting there for 5 hours, 6 hours, and nobody has paid attention to them,
But the A&E department is a special department. There are health centers that are available for people who are able to sit for hours so that they can go to the health center and get care. So I have patients who would not come when they're supposed to see the doctor. And at 4 o'clock, they'd walk up to A&E. So yes, they should sit there for hours to wait. Because the A&E department is the accident and emergency department. And the nurses need to be focused on dealing with accidents and emergencies. When you have to fit in all of the little things that can be treated at the health center, in the A&E department, somebody who has an emergency might end up dying. So the nurses need to learn how to triage. So they will pick out who is more severe from who is less severe based on the history that you give. If you keep back information, you cannot blame the nurse for not knowing that you were having a splitting headache at the time. because you came and you said, I didn't take my medication today and I need to see the doctor.
Yes.
So sometimes the patients do not tell all of the information because they figure they don't want to tell that to the nurse, they want to tell it to the doctor. The nurse is the gateway. So if you know that you have an emergency, then you speak out everything that is going on. If the nurse decides that it's not an emergency because she has somebody else who is more urgent, then you are going to have to wait. So I'm just encouraging people. The health centers are set up so that you are able to go to check on yourself and keep yourself well. Utilize your health centers. There's a health center in every village in Dominica. And that way you have less people going to the A&E department where they will sit and wait for hours.
Nurse Glenville hit that like I was waiting for all you.
No, but it's the truth. It's called an accident and emergency for a reason. So if you come with your bus store, you got at 11 o'clock, you didn't go to your health center closed, you show up at 7 o'clock, then there's a motor vehicle accident. They're going to attend to the patients for the motor vehicle accident.
Because that's what it is.
Yes, and then that is how you end up waiting. Because you'll be waiting, and then something happens, somebody comes, so then there comes acute abdominal pain. That is somebody that has to be attended before you if you're bestow.
Exactly.
You understand? So
and we also have to keep in mind that we have a severe shortage of nurses. So there's one nurse who has to forego her lunch, forego her snack, forego her pee break to attend to patients. And a lot of us as nurses, we have very
So
poor
we don't
behavior.
know the behind the scenes.
Yes.
No.
And at the end of it, you're the one at the forefront, so you're always getting attacked. You take it because that's what you have signed on for. But at the end of the day, you have all of those issues that you're facing. Perhaps you have an ulcer by the end of the time that you're working as a nurse because you did not eat, and you yourself are feeling sick, and you have to attend to patients.
But I'll tell you what, for me, and that's just probably, sometimes I just feel there is a lack of warmth. That is what I feel. I feel you really come sometimes, they're very, their face is very serious.
Matter of fact.
Yeah, matter of fact. And I can understand if that's your job, but sometimes, because of how I feel, I want to feel a little warmth coming from the person who is supposed to be giving me some care. So sometimes, and a lot of times, the nurses are like as serious as you can get. But again,
because nursing is an art and a science,
fair enough. But
it's an
what is the
science, so you have to
Nightingale lady's name?
Florence
Nightingale.
What is her birthday? That's the 12th of May.
I see.
That is why nurses, yes, around her birthday.
Could it be too that the shifts that you all work, the 12, I couldn't do 12 hours.
It is tiring.
I go to work on a Monday, say about 8 or whatever time I go to work. And when I have to be here at 8 to do this program, if I don't get to go home, have a shower, get something to eat, relax even if it's for half an hour, when I come here, I am exhausted.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you all do
So you can imagine walking a floor for 12 hours.
And doing it the next day
And
too.
doing it.
So why not 8 hours? Why 12 hours?
Because we have a shortage and we have to serve you and we have to make sure that the Dominican public get the care that they need. And so it comes a lot with sacrifices. This 12-hour shift in casualty was piloted first. So they did do some sort of research to see whether it would be a better fit to do it that way than to do the 8 hours. For some of the nurses, it works out better because you get some time in between to rest. So you may work on 2 days and then you get a few days off for you to rest. So it works out a bit better for them.
But some of them, they complain it's too much.
Yeah.
I would say it's too much.
They're very, depending on the ward, because some of the wards are very heavy all the time.
Right.
So they're really on their feet non-stop a lot of the times. Medical wards, surgical wards, and I see it when I'm there with students. Sometimes I stay there for a while, you understand? But it is a lot, and some of the wards they had to to scrap it, the 12-hour shift. They had to go back to the 8-hour shift because it was really tiring. If you have 4 nurses on at one time, it's okay.
Depends on how many patients you have. Even with 4 sometimes, and the categories of patients.
Exactly.
Because sometimes 4 is still not enough.
No, 4 is enough if you have critical patients. So if you, depending on the levels of your patients,
Yes.
if you have, sometimes you need 2 nurses for one patient.
One patient.
Depending on how critical the patient is. So you see, the public doesn't understand a lot of that. I'm not making excuses for our behavior.
Yes.
But there are certain behind the scenes things.
Yes, clearly.
But however,
Clearly.
if we say we are profession and we are professional, we have to try to remember to behave as such, you know. And I don't like to talk about sanctions, but you know, we I don't know, you know.
So a few myth busters as it relates to nurses. It's not all nurses who are not nice.
The majority of us are
The majority of us.
The majority are good nurses. They mean well. They love their job.
We care.
And they love caring for their patients. The vexed face sometimes just has to do with possibly they've not had something to eat. They've been on their feet for a very long time, or
they don't have supplies to work with,
or don't have supplies, or as you said, it's an art. It's the nursing is a what you said.
It's an art and a science.
An art and a science. So it does not necessarily require them to smile because they need to be.
No, I didn't mean that. No. Yes, no, it's always nice to smile to your patients. May I assist you today? It's not what you come for again now. It's what
you know.
Even if in your head you say, boy, that lady again, but you do not let the patient see you say that. You have to put on that nice face and say, oh, can I assist?
I had an experience. I won't call the nurse or the doctor's name. My doctor sent me to the hospital, said, take your bags, go up, and she gave me an envelope and whatever. The reception wasn't very nice. Me and the nurse, we were very nice after that, but the reception was not very nice. Almost trying to say, well, so and so just like to do what they want, and you know, that kind of thing. And I felt very uncomfortable. I almost wanted to go back to my home, to be very honest.
No, you don't do that.
I wanted to. I think what it was, nurse, I didn't come there appearing to be sick. I was not necessarily sick, to be honest with you. It was to observe something. So I came in my little romper and my little bag, you know, I came to the hospital. So I think maybe it was how I came, like, you know, maybe I was just coming to take a bed that, you know, was needed.
For the emergency.
My comments on that is that nurses need to learn
to be true.
Yeah, to be professional and not let everybody know our dirty secrets or dirty business. I mean, you know the doctor did something wrong, you're going to tell him off. But you don't say it to the patients. You smile to the patients and you do what you have to do, because at the end of it, we all have to work together and we have to project an image that we are a team. So if I'm fighting with the doctor and everybody knows that I'm fighting with the doctor, nobody is going to be trusting that.
Or respect that.
Nobody is going to want to be around us because it just looks like a chaotic place. So we need to learn that we fight in private and we project a professional attitude at all times.
And that was the very first time that I was ever going to be admitted to a hospital.
Oh boy,
Imagine that.
But I must say, after that, I never had an issue. You know, everything was good. You know, I was treated well and all of that. So, but that first experience was not, you know, the best of experiences. For me, I mean, it is very good, you know, and I mean, I don't think it was anything personally to do with me, but you know,
but you see, the patient doesn't know that. How they perceive, how you came across.
Right, and I'm hoping that the nurses who are listening will take from that example, because our first impression lasts. Even if we forget and we get a better experience afterwards, we're going to remember that first time. And then somebody who is coming into the hospital, sometimes you're not even sure what you're going there for. You're a bit worried and anxious about actually going to the hospital. It can change your whole outlook of everything and the outcomes of your visit to the hospital. So we have to be very careful. We impact people.
I'll tell you something. One of the groups of persons that made me feel so comfortable, it was the Audleys. The Audleys who came to take me to my surgery room. They spoke to me. They were very kind. They were very patient. And you know, even when I was waiting to be brought into the room, you know, they were speaking to me. I suspect a couple of them probably knew me, but la tête m'était là. You know, but I really appreciated the treatment I got from them. I remember there was a ward aide. I think she's a nurse now. You know, she came, she made my bed, she took care of me. You know, I mean, other than that, as I said, guys, the experience after that was good.
Well, that's the kind of experience we want all patients to live with, and you know, not start with the bad one and think, just start with the good and let it flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ladies, it's 9:41 already. We've been talking quite a bit. I want us to talk a bit before we continue on to anything else about the week.
Yeah.
The week of activities for Nurses Week. What are you doing? What are you hoping to achieve at the end of that? What are you doing on International Nurses Day? And nurses, we love you guys. We love you guys. You know, we know that you're supposed to take care of us. We just want to make sure that the 5% who probably might be a little moody sometimes and so on, you know, just think about us and how we feel, you know, if you, depending on how you approach us as well. Yes? All right, ladies, so let's talk about Nurses Week.
Okay, so we
And
started
it's an international observance, by the way. It's being observed everywhere.
Yes.
Okay.
So we started off on Friday with a church service at the Truth and Grace Fellowship, and this was very, very well attended, very good. Our educational session on Saturday was postponed, but on Monday, which is from today and tomorrow, our nurses are being appreciated. So the association is going out to the different
by the way, I sent them gifts after I left, by the way.
So the association is bringing the tokens to the workplaces and giving to the nurses. On Wednesday, we'll be celebrating on male nurses. And
one has been here. I really enjoyed the program with him, yes.
Nice. So on Thursday, we'll be honoring legends. I'm not sure.
No, I don't know what form that one is going to take. So this Rod knew that too.
Right.
Yes.
This Rhoda just sent me a WhatsApp, tell me what form that particular event is going to take.
Right, so that's our Nurses Week from Friday last week to Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't go to the church, but I followed on YouTube, and Pastor Rondi's sermon was on point, talking about the leadership voice. Yeah, it was really, really good. I really appreciated that. Yeah.
All right, I think, okay, somebody asked how many male nurses are there in Dominica. So she may have missed us a little earlier on. So that would be 8 active, I was told. So there may be more male nurses, but there are actually 8 active. Nurse Bonnie is watching and listening. You all are doing a very good job, very good mix interaction on the real issues of nurses. Okay, I think we dealt with that. Somebody's asking why. I want to know why some of the nurses have no empathy, no love, no compassion. Some of them work on you, no morning, no afternoon, and I hear people complaining of the bad treatment they get from some nurses. So I wonder if it's back that they got training. Some of them are not ready for nursing. When you go to the health center, some of them ignore the patients. We address that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, as you said, it's a few. And what I appreciate is that you're not denying that there are some within your crop that are, you know, what some of the persons here are saying, you know. Somebody's asking, do you have a problem if nurses leaving and going to the US or Canada? So I did take a note of shortage. You mentioned that a few times, Ms. Glenville, that there's a shortage of nurses. So let's address that. And let's also, while we're addressing that, address, yes, this, as you're saying, this Frampton, how can you keep your nurses and then our nurses still being poached?
Yes, of course, because we come from small islands, and it has been something that has been years being done, that our staff who are well trained from our small islands go to the bigger islands for better opportunities. So it is still happening. Our shortcomings is that we don't learn from what history has taught us. Although the nurses will leave, but we've not yet done anything to keep them. We do have 2 new nursing schools that are training and contributing nurses to the system, but at the end of the day, how satisfied are the nurses working in a system like ours? We work in a condition where we lack resources. Like Ms. Frampton said, we don't get paid for the jobs that we do. And there's no way, there's very little upward mobility. So you start off as a staff nurse and you can do whatever programs you want. And you may never move from a staff nurse because there's no opportunity to move on from there. And I think that as nurses, we need to be able to feel satisfied in our jobs. We need to be able to feel that we are appreciated. I know we have our bad attitudes sometimes, like you say, but that does not mean that we are not good nurses. We do have nurses who work very hard, and at the end of the day, they go home and they're unable to have their own home. They're unable to send their children to a good school. They keep paying for study loans for several years and not seeing the end of it. So at the end of the day, what is the option? To go to the US and get paid to be able to have a comfortable life, or to stay here and get more complacent. So these are some of the reasons why the nurses leave. So I think that we need to take example from what has happened in the past. Create opportunities for nurses. Opportunities where they feel self-actualized, because that's what we're looking at. That's the top of the hierarchy. We want to satisfy our basic needs. But once your basic needs are satisfied, then you go on to self-actualization. But if we are unable to satisfy our basic needs, we're going to stay there and look for ways to satisfy those basic needs. And as a result, the nurses will leave. So that's just one of the areas I think that we need to work really hard on to get them to be satisfied. To get them to feel like they're actually contributing something. Most of the time, all we hear is about the negative. The nurses have bad attitudes. The nurses ignore it. You do not hear highlights of how good or how hard the nurses have been working, that they have done their best, they've given their all. We need more of that so that they can feel, yes, I'm doing a good job, even if it is not. The pay is not as what I wanted to do, but I feel like people are appreciative of it, and that I want to continue doing it.
Are we still having our nurses leaving?
Yes. Retention.
Nurse Frampton, what can be done?
I think we kind of said a lot of what can be done. I think one of the things that can be done is to look at, okay, we cannot do a salary increase. What other incentives can we give? Okay, can we say, okay, we'll organize with an institution to give low interest loans for a vehicle. You know, you finish work at 8 o'clock in the night and you have to be standing up by the...
Oh, that's another story.
You know, so simple incentives to have people. And they, but somebody will say, but when they go to the US, they go in slow, they take in the train, but the train is there. In Dominica, you might wait an hour for a bus. You know, the train runs every half hour, every hour. You know, you're gonna get it. You may stand up by that bus stop there, you alone. You know, so there's some incentives that can be given. Look at different areas where we can assist the nurses. Working conditions, we do not have, I hope in the new dispensation that we will have somewhere that we can sit for your half-hour break. You know, there's nowhere to take a nice little relaxation and stretch your legs for your little half
Even
hour.
in the new design?
Well, like I say, I hope in the new dispensation that there should be something like that. Like a rec room, yeah? So you come, you sit down, you have a cup of tea, have a coffee machine, or something nice.
There you go, alright?
Yes.
She said, you guys, I hope you all saw the look on her face like, oh my gosh. That's like, you know, the real world. Yes, a little rec room, you can come, put up your feet, and have the coffee machine is there, have a cup of coffee. When you actually get the time to do it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, because if you're working a 12-hour shift, you should actually get your little break.
Yes, it's important because that's part of
just
health.
to rejuvenate, exactly. To have that cup of tea, put up your feet, whatever. And I hope there's a canteen as well, and a section that will say reduced prices for nurses. You know something? Little things we don't think that are important are usually important. You know? And we need to remember that you're working for 12 hours, you don't have somewhere nice to sit down to eat your food. I mean, how good or how bad is that? You know? So people think we always think of the salaries. Yeah, that's important. As I said earlier, we have the same utilities and house loan and car loan like everybody else, and then we need our children to go to good schools as well. You know, we want to educate our children, and some people take the loans to educate themselves as well. So I mean, we expect a particular service from the nurses. What it is. Like people say, what DNA doing for me? What is my country doing for me? That I am giving all that of me. Because emotional intelligence is so key in nursing. And I told them, like I said to some people, it took me a long time to appreciate what emotional intelligence is. When you come as a new nurse, that's not part of your vocabulary. You know? It's true. So you have to learn or nurture. Nursing is nurturing, and you know, you have to learn emotional intelligence. And because when I get annoyed, if I need to do a particular task and then no syringes again, and I bang my hand on the table, I won't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. You know, I don't get very courtoised because as you said, self-actualization, I think I'm at that level. You know, in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Somebody asked me that the other day, and I said, yes, I'm self-actualized. So I don't need much again, you know, but I just want to see us get to the point where all my colleagues can say, yes, I feel good, I like what I do, I love my job, I love people, and that's what I went to school for, to care for people. However, come on, treat me a little good now, you know? Yes, treat me good too.
Who is speaking out and who is listening or not listening?
Who is
That's
listening?
an interesting question.
Who is listening, Glenville? Who is listening? We want everybody to listen.
Yeah,
We
but
want everybody to pass the message for us. You know, we want our nursing hierarchy to listen, first and foremost. We need our nursing hierarchy to speak on our behalf. You know, we need our nurses association to speak on our behalf. Yeah? So we want our nursing hierarchy, we want the political directorate, we want everybody to hear us. You know? And I think that is one of the things that has changed. When I said, what has changed in the environment? Yeah? What has changed is when in the 70s, 80s, 90s, we used to know where I'm putting my vote has nothing to do with what I do for my association. If we say all of us coming out, all of us coming out. It's not about, it's not my party, it's my party. We need to do a paradigm shift where that is concerned. For me, that's what needs to happen. We need to say, okay, no, it's not right. The treatment we're getting, whatever it is, what can we do as a collective? You know, it's not about me, I nothing that, nothing that, I myself, nothing that they can do whatever. No. As a professional, that's part of being a professional, is to recognize where, okay, what it is we can do as a collective. And that is where we've gone, and I think that is where we've fallen away, is in terms of our political divide. People might not like me for saying that, but I'm 61 years old, so I've been there for a while. Yes. So no, but it's the truth, and we need to recognize that that is part of what is preventing our association from being our association. You understand?
Put the politics aside.
Put it aside.
Let's work for nurses.
When election day, you put in your ex, put your ex
That's
where
your
you
business.
want. That's
Yes.
not for us.
Yeah.
But let us say what it is we need for our nursing body. What it is would make us happy. What it is would provide for the retention of nurses. What it is that would make the few, the 5% or the 2% who always côtoie, who always awage, who don't want to, be part of that, what it is we can do to make them not be like that.
Agreed. Ladies, it's 4 minutes to 10 o'clock. We have to get ready to wrap things up here on the program tonight. I think you ladies were awesome when you represented well, and I think those who, what I like was your openness and your frankness, and that is what needs to be done if we need to get our points across, if we need to get people to listen, not just hear, but to listen and act accordingly. I'm going to give you the opportunity to say your final comments. Nurse Rodney, again, thank you for reaching out weeks ago, asking for your program here tonight. And it's really was a pleasure having these intelligent, caring ladies. You can see they love their profession with us in studios, and those who are listening or viewing, cheering them on tonight. I think they did well. So Nurse Glenville, again, you came across a little timid to me from the beginning, although you did very well with your promo video. But I was definitely impressed with you. And I must say that I want to encourage you to continue. As to what you're going to do, what are you going to do with that doctor of...
She just got that. For now, she don't know.
For now,
She
you're
knows
not sure.
what she wants to do.
All you know, you're educating yourself.
Yes, I think it's important for you to do what you want to do and to
Yes.
do what you love, no matter what obstacles you might face. So when I'm done, I know that that is something I can't lose.
Yeah.
And what I do with it is just move on and get better.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Why have you remained?
Why have I remained?
Yes, in spite of the beautiful bread apples and everything that has been put in front of you.
Yeah. It sounds crazy, right? I have had opportunities to move on, but I felt like I needed to contribute to my country and to do something better. So that's one of the main reasons I've remained, to try to make a difference. And I'm hoping to get the opportunity to do so.
Okay, all right. Ms. Frampton, even you, why have you remained even at this point?
Well, honestly, first thing I had to say when somebody said, why did you stay? I said, because I'm a spoiled child. Number 11 of 12 children. My parents were still alive. When I graduated, 25 of us graduated and 21 left. And I said, I want to take care of my parents. I want to be there when they go to the hospital for me to be there. And the other thing is, I love Dominica, you know. I love a river bar. Nowhere else you can go and be that kind of free, and you can just get up on the side and go in the river. You know, so and
So a lot of factors.
Yes, together,
Yeah.
and to be part of the development of my country. You know, so some of us like Dominica genuinely, and that's why we stayed. Not that we didn't have opportunities to leave. Believe you me, but we love our country. And I just really want to thank the nurses before us who blazed the trail, and for want of not forgetting anybody, I don't think I want to call names, but you know, like Ophelia Linton, Jennifer Xavier, Jennifer Astafan, Aileen Burton, the nursing school, Sister Brooks, Zetma Tousse, Agatha in Scotland. You know, we have so many of our nurses, you know, and we have nurses who do a lot of things on the ground that we keep forgetting. We have retired nurses like Angie Desabe, who goes to oncology clinic, gives her time, you know, every Tuesday. So, you know, there are people who still give of their time all the time, you know. Jean Jacob, you know, we have people all the time here doing stuff. Ophelia still molding minds, you know, so I just want to thank them, and I have been there, seeing them do that, and that has given me a lot of encouragement, being a young nurse and going through the trenches with them. And our DNA, we want to support, and we want to ask, and we want to implore our nurses and beg of you to be part of your professional organization. There's power in numbers, there's unity in numbers, there's strength, you know, and then we want to support the executive. It's not about the executive, it's about all of us. You know, you always have somebody to lead and organize, but the rest of us will do the work. Yeah, man, bring people, that is what they're there. You have to have an executive. However, it's like a country with a government and the people, and the people have to come on board to do what is necessary. So we want to encourage our younger nurses to be part of Dominican Nurses Association, and we're looking forward to a big 65 on the 22nd of August. So everybody should come on board and let us celebrate nurses and nursing.
Kind of comments.
Yes.
I just want to thank you for having us here. It was a pleasure tonight. I want to say good night to Miss August and thank you for keeping us updated. We have
As the united we
Exactly.
serve, and we stand in this case.
Yeah.
We have 398 nurses according to Miss August.
Yes, for
And all of the other nurses, Nurse Samuel, Nurse Ravalian, and the others who were listening to us, I want to say thank you for your support. And for our other nurses, the association, we've been on board. Thank you for listening. Just to say, let us go out and be professionals. Let us continue to do good and to project ourselves as professionals.
Oh, nurses overseas who still be part of us. Alison Samuel, Pross, Sister Pross, you know, these people, they're still part of the Nurses Association chat, you know, and Roslyn came back and she's helping. So we still have people who are out there and contributing. So we want to big them up too.
All right.
Yes, I made a note of that. I almost forgot. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Glenville. Ms. Frampton, you know, you'll be back here, but on your own accord, for us to hear some of the amazing stories of nursing. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you to the DNA for, you know, just giving the opportunity to learn more about your association. Happy International Nurses Day when it comes around. Enjoy the rest of your activities. And all the best and all nurses, good evening to you and everyone who works within the health department in Dominica. Next week Monday, we will be back here with another guest. Should be a good one next week Monday as well. So be sure to tune in Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Look out on my social media platforms when we announce Monday's guest. Until then, thank you so much again to our guests, and thank you to those of you who tuned in via Facebook, those of you who tuned in via radio. We thank all of you for joining us tonight. God willing, we'll be back next week Monday as indicated. Do have a good night, everyone.